Calais has been the front line of the migrant crisis for a long time now. It's the place where migrants, or I'm sorry, refugees, gotta get that right, congregate before trying to sneak into Britain illegally. Last year, the infamous jungle camp which housed all these people was demolished, thankfully. Took them bloody long enough, and the migrants were moved to other centres across France. Most of them ended up living on the streets of Paris, which worked out, as you can see, extremely well. But now, they're coming back. Assisted by left-wing activists, charity workers and whatever else, their numbers are once again starting to grow in Calais. Thought bulldozing the jungle ended the Calais migrant crisis? Wrong. They've been lured back by charity handouts and are still hell-bent on reaching the UK. We could have all seen this coming a mile off. Last autumn, the Calais jungle, a shanty camp built by migrants with kebab shops, halal restaurants and even a brothel, church and mosque, was bulldozed by the French authorities, who dispatched its residents to 400 centres all over France, where they were offered tickets home or the chance to claim asylum. Many evaded authorities, however, and moved up the coast to another migrant camp at nearby Dunkirk. This week, a fire, caused by a turf war between Kurdish and Afghan people smuggling gangs, tore through the Dunkirk camp, which was run by the charity Doctors Without Borders. Some migrants were left with knife wounds, and 600 of them are missing. Well, how wonderful. Things are fine, guys. Things are absolutely fine here. When the jungle was pulled down, Calais townsfolk sighed with relief. We hoped it would be a fresh start for our lovely city after years of having migrants here, said one high-ranking local politician. But they are coming back, because England is still the magnet and Calais is the set-off point. The Mail has discovered that hundreds of illegals are now living in Calais. Every week, more arrive with hopes of getting to Britain, and they sleep rough on scrubland just a stone's throw away from the former jungle. They're being helped to survive by English and French charity workers who dole out sleeping bags, fresh clothes and free food. No doubt people like this.
Bring them over! Open the borders! Let them in! Open the borders! Let them in! Open the borders! Let them in!
So left-wing charities basically are luring migrants back to Calais to try and help them illegally enter Britain. That's what's going on here. When the jungle camp was at its peak, 200 migrants a week were managing to reach Britain by smuggling themselves through the port of Calais. The UK benefit system is one of the most generous in Europe, but a flourishing jobs black market allows those arriving legally and refusing to claim asylum to avoid the attention of immigration authorities to earn cash to send to their families back home. It's a constant lure to migrants. The journalist here goes on to recount what he saw in Calais. The hungry Afghans had emerged from the woodland near the gates of the warehouse and, after shaking hands with a volunteer, left with chicken, rice and water, which they wolfed down as they sat on the pavement. Chicken and rice, yes. One of them, 18-year-old Arfan, said he was in France illegally, had relatives in Manchester and London and was trying to join them. I bet they're illegal too, by the way, just a hunch. When the police drove up, stopped and asked for his papers, he just laughed at them, saying none, none. Shaking their heads, the officers drove away. Well, it's good to see that policing has been properly enforced in Calais. That's very comforting, isn't it? Just let him stay there. He's there illegally. He admits he's there illegally, but just let him stay. That's fine. You're doing your jobs. It's okay. Jesus Christ.
I mean, as you can see now, you're coming into a queue now. They're all... Where are the police? Where are people that are supposed to be here helping us? There's nobody.
But what I find even worse are the so-called activists and charities that are luring these people back to Calais, knowingly breaking the law. They know what they're doing. Their intention is to get these people into Britain illegally. And when the jungle camp was at its height, these charities did a little more than just give out food. No Borders activists from Britain are provoking migrant riots in Calais, French say. Extremist political activists from Britain campaign for no border controls are provoking the migrant riots in Calais and causing further violence, French authorities said. This is from about a year ago now when the jungle camp was at its height. But you better believe that these No Borders people are back there again. No Borders are a bunch of scruffy, dirty, unemployed activists who campaign for no borders, no nation states, and were responsible for this mini riot that happened at London St Pancras Station about a year ago. Look at them. Just look at these idiots. I'm not even kidding, guys. If I was in charge here, I would just say to the police, just beat the shit out of them. Just get rid of them, please. Just beat them down. This is unacceptable. These two women here, if I can gender them, I hope I'm not misgendering these idiots, but these two girls here, god damn it, just smash their faces, please. Get them out of my sight. People from this group also aren't the smartest bulbs. I'm sure you'll be shocked to hear.
Is there's no borders? Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have journalists here. Like the relationship that we have with people is like can be really like compromised by like having journalists around.
The relationship is like compromised like by having journalists like
just list like this has been something that's been decided by the group that like we, because of our relationships with people are built on trust, and like a lot of them and a lot of them and like our relationships and like
I don't know, but like the point, like this isn't the like, but the point is like that we
I don't know, like, but the point is like that we like, god Jesus Christ, you get the drift. These people aren't smart.
We don't like it's nothing against, like there might be some journalists who are like, you know, really good, but like yeah, we like have our own ways of like conveying our message.
Oh, what's the oh look, they've got a no borders northeast. That's where I live, in the northeast of England. Oh, there's a local no borders. Fantastic. Let's read what they have to say. No borders is an open group of individuals who don't believe in borders and nations either. Well, that's a wonderfully written sentence. Who don't believe in borders and nations either. We believe the world is divided by borders and boundaries. Well, that's true. You can see that the capital, the economy of certain countries, is due to the exploitation of the rest of the world. The boundaries to keep the profits and wealth of consumerist societies. If somebody wants to enter, but is not profitable, then we say no. There is no just or human reason for the division. And I'm assuming they put that in bold because they think it makes it more prevalent of a point. It doesn't. We are all living within these boundaries set by nation states and UN. These are not only borders of EU or England, but within society itself. The capitalist system is aimed only towards profitable people, so if you are interested in other things, you have to work hard against the system. What dribbling retard wrote this? Oh, I'm seriously considering finding out where these people meet and going to a meeting. That would be amazing. I'll film it and everything. We call for the freedom of movement for all, an end to the division of who is legal, who is illegal, who is a citizen and non-citizen, who is profitable and non-profitable. A radical movement against the system of control. What's the system of control? You haven't explained that to me yet. The end of the border regime for everyone, including ourselves, to enable us to live another way without fear, racism and nationalism. I like how they just throw in nationalism with racism and fear. Like, yeah, that's the same thing. Supporting a nation state, a country, is racism and fear. It's the same thing. This is why we support asylum seekers, refugees and migrants and people coming from other countries to take a different life path. Wonderful, but the thing is, guys, most of these people aren't refugees. As we just read before, most of them didn't even bother claiming asylum. They don't want to. They admit that they're illegal. I mean, Jesus. But you guys presumably don't believe in laws either, or some shit like that. You don't believe in legal or illegal. Amazing. Now, while we can't have a laugh at people like this, and they are hilarious, don't get me wrong, their antics have real-life consequences here. When the jungle camp was at its peak, violence was an everyday occurrence. For example, look at this. British truckers have been threatened by asylum seekers wielding chainsaws, iron bars and concrete boulders outside of the port, which has been described as a war zone. Calais Mayor says migrant violence out of control as UK truckers urge troops on the streets. Lorry drivers now face being attacked 24 hours of the day by asylum seekers who want to stop their vehicles and smuggle away on board. We are seeing migrants in broad daylight setting fire to trees in the middle of the road, using the flames as protection as they throw missiles, rocks, bricks, even petrol bombs at innocent drivers who are just trying to do their jobs. And like I mentioned earlier, the no borders are directly implicated in supplying these migrants with the means to commit violence. Now, I'll make the point again, that was when the jungle camp was at its highest, but now that people are returning to Calais, expect these problems to come along again too. With these idiotic leftist charities sticking their stupid noses in. It's only a matter of time. There's real consequences here, not only for the truckers but for the residents of Calais, because you know, it is a city with people in it. Migrants are returning to Calais, France, and residents aren't sure how to cope. On the edge of town, Jean-Francois Gautoin runs an equestrian centre, alongside the site of the former jungle. He points to the brand new wooden fences the French government helped repair on his property after the dismantling of the camp, and he looks quite happy there, doesn't he? His fences are back. Everything was taken down, he says. He explained that migrants walked across his property every night to pick up any wood that could help them cross the deep water ditches separating the fields. They'd use his property as a shortcut to get to the gas stations on the other side where UK-bound trucks are parked and avoid police checks on the road. I could no longer take customers horseback riding along the paths there, he said, because the crowds would scare the riders and the horses too. And there were many frightening moments for Gratuan and his family, like the day he was taking his young girls horseback riding. A group of about 300 migrants showed up at the stables. I got my rifle out and shot in the air to disperse them, he said. That got him arrested. Even though 300 migrants were trespassing on his private property. Illegal migrants trespassing on his private property. He got arrested. He says those 2 years next to the jungle camp were traumatizing for his family who were barely recovering financially and psychologically. Somehow we are still haunted by all of this, he says. This is why it cannot start again. He says migrants should be helped, but he's afraid allowing charities to feed them may lead to chaos again. He doesn't really think that, he's just saying that for political correctness reasons. It seems anti-humanitarian to say this, he says, but if we start doing this again, I'm sure we'll have 10,000 migrants by the summer. And then what do we do? And he's absolutely right. If they're being actively lured back to Calais, all these problems are going to return. The violence, the fear. And this guy is just one person out of thousands of people in Calais who've probably had similar experiences. But really, these people don't matter, because the refugees need helping, don't they? They're such poor little lambs. They need all of our help, and all of our money too, by the way. Don't forget about that.
I went to the camp on Sunday, and I have never seen such a thing. People there are desperate to tell you their stories. There are children there. There are in the south side of the camp that they want to close down. There are over 300 unaccompanied children.
Can't we think about the children? Won't we think about the unaccompanied children? You know, children like this young boy and this young boy. Can you remember that little lad that Lily Allen cried over?
I apologise on behalf of my country. I'm sorry.
Well, his father was an Islamist fighter. Just bring them all over. Him and his extended family, just do it. They need help. Cry me a river. People's patience for this is wearing very, very thin. This is just never ending, isn't it? The migrants were shooed about to different places. That didn't work, clearly. They just burnt them down. Now they're coming back because what they really want to do is just come to Britain. For the benefits. For the money. They're not asylum seekers. Most of them don't even claim asylum. They've admitted that. They get involved in the black market of jobs, illegal activities. It's a mess. What's going to be done about this? The authorities are weak. The police don't do anything. They just shake their heads and drive off, apparently. It's time to get tough. Alright? If people are there illegally, you need to arrest them, you need to deport them. It's as simple as that. Get them out. Why is this so hard? They don't deserve to be here, and I'm sorry, No Borders, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. There is such a thing as legal and illegal, and these people are illegal. And I wish you were too, but my god, you probably live in my street or something. But that's fine, you're allowed to be stupid, it is your right. I would love to hear from anyone who actually lives in Calais and who experienced the jungle camp at its height, because I don't know what to tell you guys, it looks like those days are gonna come back very soon. And I'm growing ever more pessimistic. I don't think this problem's ever going to be solved. I think it's going to continue on forever and ever. Until Calais just doesn't exist anymore. Until it's just overrun with thousands and thousands of migrants. And the security won't be good enough to stop them hopping over the channel. Jesus Christ. Do you agree with me? Round them up and deport them? Let me know down below. What a mess. Thank you once again for watching, everyone. 10,000 subs is getting ever closer. I can't thank you enough. Please follow me on Twitter, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. The links are in the description box below. I will also be starting a Patreon soon, but I didn't want to do it too early because I wanted to really get some good perks for you. I'm still working them out, but look out for that in the near future. Alright, cheers.